The predicted collapse of the large tent right is proceeding just on schedule, as we have Kangmin Lee here saying, "I am losing followers because I hate porn and I want it outlawed." Insanity! Indeed, it's rather crazy. Who could imagine that a movement that has spent the last 10 years fighting tooth and nail against an ideology that says, "We're gonna take your stuff away," might react somewhat in a hostile fashion to another ideology coming around and saying, "Actually, we'd like to take your stuff away too." Who could have seen this coming? So, well, we're gonna have to talk about this a little bit again, aren't we? Because as much as I don't want to take a shot here, because I do believe that there is a far greater potential for political unity on the right than there is for disunity, I will remind everyone yet again that porn is quite literally the canary down the coal mine here, because it is easy to attack from the left and the right. If you want to see the first indication that censorship is on the horizon, look for anyone that wants to ban pornography, and there you have it. Which is why it's important that we need to stop it there each and every time. Especially as the definition of pornography, well, it's basically just everything. I am not kidding at all when I say that due to the similarities between the two fringes on the right and the left, with horseshoe theory very much so being real, the wish to ban pornography, well, it's simply just the male gaze for the right wing, and that is all it is. So, Kangmin Lee, "I'm losing followers because I hate porn and I want it outlawed. Insanity. My primary allegiance is to Christ. I've never been shy about that. I'm not a libertarian. It's a losing and untenable ideology. For what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul?" We are going to be harping on a lot about the similarities between the fringe right and the fringe left today, so be prepared for that, as both sides operate with pretty much the exact same ideas, with this being the "I have truth on my side. I have absolute good. I know what will send you literally to hell or what will allow you into heaven." Absolute good, absolute evil. On the left, it's absolute evil, Nazi. On the good, absolute left, with their entire idea, for example, of history being linear, a continuous progression towards more goodness, e.g. more left-wing, with the ever-increasing progressivism, of course, as well, of any left-wing position you assume will eventually become right-wing as you push ever further leftwards. It's on the same with the right, with the purity spiral, which we've seen in virtually every single established religion. He goes on, "Before the 1960s, daily or weekly prayer, Bible reading in chapel services were normal and often mandatory across nearly all levels of American education, from public elementary schools to the most elite universities. Every state allowed or required some form of school prayer or scripture reading. Teachers would begin the school day with the Lord's Prayer, a psalm or gospel reading, a pledge of allegiance. Moral education was understood as Christian moral fundamentum, not secular ethics, and courts upheld it under the assumption the US was a Christian nation in civic culture." So here we have the next point. So, okay, right, you have the absolute truth. You know what is good, you know what is evil. What are you going to do about it? Well, I'm going to make it mandatory in school, I'm going to indoctrinate children, and then finally, when the children leave school, if there is any remaining doubt, I am going to make it illegal to disagree, with fines and punishment at the ready to be enforced by the government. Said the left wing, as that is precisely what the left has done, step by fucking step. Moral indoctrination in schools? Check. Replacing any normal secular worldview with a leftist worldview on morality? Check. Going then to the courts and saying, "Oh, you really shouldn't be allowed to say these mean things?" Check. again, the left and the right have virtually zero distinguishing markers when you get to this sort of authoritarianism, because both believe the same thing. They have an absolute good, and when you have an absolute, a greater good, then anything done in the name of that greater good is automatically, inherently justified. In fact, not doing anything and everything in order to spread that greater good is in and of itself an immoral act. Because if you have absolute truth and you don't spread it, well, you must be an immoral person, right? Not to mention, of course, as well, this is what's going to lose you power. This is what lost the left power, and it is what lost the right power as well, as again, the 2% arguing over the 98. The 98 are going to look at the side currently oppressing them and indoctrinating their children and go, I really don't like that. Why are you telling me what I can and can't do? Well, you see, it's harmful for you to participate in patriarchy. Is it? Can you prove that? Well, I have a lot of allegations. Same with pornography as well. As again, we've done a lot of studies on this. In the 60s, 50s, 80s, etc., there were entire governmental documents created to try and explore the damages of pornography. And very little, if anything, was discovered because, well, porn's been around for as long as there's been humans. If porn was responsible for the collapse of civilization, we probably wouldn't have gotten to the point of combustion engines to begin with. Not to mention, the currently ongoing problems in the West are far easier and more likely to be attributed to, mass immigration, for example? Or a massive amount of fetishistic outgroup preference, rather than somebody jerking off in the privacy of their own home. Hey, why are wages falling? Why are people losing their jobs? Why is domestic industries failing? Well, it could be because of masturbation, or it could be because we brought in 7 million migrants last year. Just a thought. Anyways, I know I'm not the first Christian creator slammed for advocating for morals and standards. Razorfist and Melanie Mac were relentlessly mischaracterized and attacked for having Christian beliefs. No, they were not. Razorfist handled it brilliantly, in fact, and received basically no backlash because he presented it well. Melanie Mac, on the other hand, was constantly, "Hi there, I'd like to take away your stuff. I hate you, and I think you're an immoral bastard." Imagine that. And they weren't attacked for having Christian values. Melanie Mac was specifically attacked for being censorious. Ultimately, even if people are on our side politically, it is inevitable that there are some who will revile us for our faith and belief as Christians. They will scream, "Stop imposing your beliefs on us," as they impose their views on the world on us. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? We don't hate you for being Christians. We, in the middle here, basically don't have an absolute moral belief like that. We simply don't want you to oppress us. It's that simple. We're not going to oppress you. We're not going to stop you from going, "I like Christianity. Christ is my savior." Okay. Go on ahead. Indeed, we will even enshrine your rights to say and do this in law. But when you then go, "Oh, by the way, we're gonna have to ban pornography, and we're gonna have to have digital IDs to do it, we're gonna have to track your IP, and we're gonna have to make things illegal," now you're oppressing me again, okay? Live and let fucking live. I myself, too, am beginning to fall further and further away from the ideals of libertarianism in its absolute form, but that does not mean I wish to abandon it in its entirety. It has several very good things that I like: freedom of speech, independence, the ability to do whatever the hell you want to do within the privacy of your own home. It is far better to take these values and make them masculine, staunch, and unapologetic, rather than clinging to the next form of authoritarianism to come the fuck around. I appreciate those who disagree with me honestly and respectfully, and I still invite any creator to a live conversation and debate, but the whole outrage against me on this platform in the past days has been about how I want to impose digital ID and have the government control everyone's internet activity. I've been clear that restrictions on porn can be achieved without this. No, they can't. But naysayers still insist I'm obsessed with the state controlling your entire life. Yes, you are. I think I've been as clear and charitable as I can about this issue. Have a blessed week, fam. And to be fair, again, in his defense, he has been incredibly civil throughout all of this. Again, I'm trying not to take a shot here as much as I can, but no, governmental idea will be required, because the majority of pornography right now is on the bloody internet. And we go on here as well. As I'm gauging with y'all, I think we might fundamentally be arguing semantics. When I say ban, I don't mean fully get rid of the internet of porn. It's not possible nor feasible for obvious reason, and I'm not a fan of digital ID. When I say ban, all I want is for companies and people who produce and distribute porn to face legal penalties, fines, jail time, etc. Just shut down these massive companies like OnlyFans, MindGeek, and all the rest. Treat it like prostitution, and just arrest those who create and distribute it openly. We can also try to blacklist to our best of our ability, never perfectly, any site. That is what you're asking. That is you saying, I want to ban porn. You wish to make the production of it entirely illegal, but the production of it can't be made illegal because you don't have control of the entire fucking planet. Doing this would achieve precisely nothing. Zero, zip, nilch, null. As if you don't do anything about the internet, people will just go, oh, I guess I'll just have to jerk off to a UK OnlyFans character instead. For fuck's sake, this is dumb. If you think about it for 5 seconds, you realize that America isn't the entire world. The only way you can do anything like the banning of pornography is via the control of the internet. The only way you can even begin to try to do that is with full-on digital IDs, face scans, IP tracking, the whole goddamn lot of it. Anything else is going to be pointless. I think, isn't MindGeek Canadian? And if they aren't, why don't they can literally just move over the border and go, okay, now what? You cannot, this is one of those Moat and Bailey arguments that is utterly nonsensical, where you say, oh, I just want to do this, but that won't achieve what you wanted to achieve. Well, I have a step too. I know you fucking do. And yes, indeed, a black market will emerge, and it will be far worse than what we have today. See, I kind of agree on things like OnlyFans, and that's less so because of the pornography aspect of it, but rather because of the fact that it is not porn. See, here's the thing, right? What is pornography? Now, Kangmin Lee's definition is, I'm talking about banning hardcore pornography. Okay, hardcore stuff. Right? What is it? Surely you don't think filming and distributing people having sex with each other is a net good. Okay, so when you say hardcore pornography, you mean sex. Our definitions of hardcore pornography are very, very, very different. As, again, the issue with OnlyFans isn't that they're selling sex or porn videos, it is the fact that they are creating parasocial relationships, where the entire point of OnlyFans is to sell you the girlfriend experience. That is infinitely more harmful than somebody loading up a porn video, jerking off to it for 10 minutes, and then moving on with their life. Again, we are focusing on the wrong thing here, and the focus comes entirely from a purely moralistic point of view. Porn is mortally sinful and sends you to hell, whereas other things like the things I enjoy doesn't. Again, it all comes down to, I declare I have absolute truth. You will follow me, or you will receive the absolute punishment. Okay, but, I mean, can't this be applied to cigarettes and especially alcohol too? That ruins a fuck ton of lives. These are poisons, actual literal toxins, quantifiably and qualifiably so. Yet, we're not going to ban those, are we? Really? But pornography, that is so dangerous, we have to. Again, it comes down to, I like this thing. I don't want you to ban that thing, but I don't like that thing. Whereas the proper position to hold is, fuck you. Just keep your mitts away. That's all anyone ever asks. Stop touching other people's things. And And again, it never ceases to amaze me how many people come out in defense of pornography when we say it should be made illegal. Yes, the overwhelming majority of people just simply want to be left alone. That is the 98%. The 98% would rather not be involved in politics. In total, not left-wing, not right-wing, they are simply going about their lives with a very basic moral compass that can be manipulated to the left or right. The large unifying principle is that they want to be left alone. If you want to lose power, if you want to encourage, say, I don't know, what if we had a period in history where we had massive moralistic religious oppression? What followed that era? Could it have been one of utter, abject, ridiculous degeneracy? Could it have been one of child mutilation? Of going as far in the opposite direction as humanly possible? Well, I mean, it's purely theoretical, isn't it? But somehow, I see it as a potential likely outcome. Right, so, in conclusion, no, you shouldn't ban the porn. Not because I'm even willing to argue certain measures around it, like OnlyFans, for example. Happily so. There may very well be regulation we could discuss, but it's never a little bit. It's everything or nothing, because again, it comes back to the greater good. It comes back to rejecting authoritarianism. I don't care if it's coming from the right or the left. I don't want to be ruled by somebody else's made-up morality. It really is that simple. And if you do want to hold on to power, especially as the left is not defeated yet, fuck, give it another decade to die at least, please, before we go on with this. Just chill. Just be normal. That is all I ask. Just be normal, okay? We yet have a lot more bigger fish to fry before we worry about this. And with arguments for digital ID, when they're already being a reality in England, do you really want to lose cultural power right the fuck now? Just be normal. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching. Have a good day.